بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. سائل يسأل فيقول: مستمع من جمهورية مصر العربية وعبد السلام عطية يقول: سمعت أن من غاب عن زوجته 6 أشهر أو أكثر يجب عليه عند وصوله إليها أن يعقد عليها عقدا شرعيا جديدا، وأنا غبت عنها 3 سنوات متتالية، فهل ما قاله الناس صحيح؟ Someone is tuning in from Egypt whose name is Abdul Salam Atiyah. He says, I've heard that whoever is away from his wife for 6 months or more, then upon return to his wife, he has to renew the marital contract. He has to renew the marriage contract. He has to renew his nikah with his wife. As far as me, 3 consecutive years I was away from my wife. So what do I have to do? And that which I heard, is it right? Is it wrong? Is it correct? Is it incorrect? الجواب هذا ليس بصحيح. لو غاب عنها سنوات هو على نكاحه إلا إذا فسخه الحاكم الشرعي. إذا اشتكت إلى الحاكم الشرعي وفسخه الحاكم الشرعي فهذا يراجع فيه الحاكم. إذا أراد العودة إليها بعقد جديد يراجع الحاكم. أما إذا كانت على حالها لم تطلب الطلاق ولم تفسخ فنكاحه باق وزوجته باقية في حباله وعصمته، وليس هناك حاجة للعقد سواء كانت مدة قصيرة أو طويلة. Answer says this is incorrect. This is incorrect. If the husband was away from his wife for several years, then the nikah remains. It's valid, it's sound. As long as the Islamic judge didn't annul the marriage. As long as the Islamic judge did not cancel or invalidate the marriage. If and when the wife complains to the Islamic judge and he decides and decrees that the marriage is null and void, then that's a different story. Upon return, he has to go back to the judge. He has to speak and sit in front of the judge. He has to discuss things in front of the judge. And if he has to make a new marital contract, a new marriage, a new nikah, then so be it. As far as if she didn't request a divorce, the marriage wasn't broken up, it wasn't abated, it wasn't canceled, then she is his wife. They're still husband and wife, and there's no need for a new nikah, a new ceremony, a new contract, a new agreement, witnesses, mahar, wali, etc., regardless of how short or how long him being away from her was. The fatwa then states, لكن ينبغي للمؤمن أن يجتهد في عدم الإطالة لأن المرأة خطر وهو عليه خطر أيضا، كذلك لطول الغيبة، فينبغي له أن يكون عنده عناية بزوجته ولا يطول الغيبة عنها، والله يقول سبحانه: وعاشروهن بالمعروف، وليس من المعروف طول الغيبة، بل ينبغي له أن يأتي إليها بين وقت وآخر حتى تنتهي مدته، كل 3 أشهر، كل شهرين، كل 4 أشهر، حتى لا تطول الغيبة. Answer says, it goes on to say, even though the marriage is valid, the marriage is still functioning, the husband should work hard, he should try his best, and shortening the distance, bridging and merging the gaps between when he can visit his wife who's living in a different land, a different state, different country, etc. It shouldn't be a very long time unnecessarily. He should try his best to see her whenever he can. Allah the Exalted says, and deal with them in an honorable manner. And being away from your wife for a very long period of time unnecessarily isn't dealing with her in an honorable manner. So therefore, every 2 months, every 3 months, every 4 months, etc., like this. He shouldn't just be away from her for a very long period of time unnecessarily. وقد روي عن عمر رضي الله عنه أنه سئل عن هذا من جهة الغزاة فوقت لهم 6 أشهر، فإذا غاب 6 أشهر لحاجة مهمة فلا بأس إن شاء الله، ولكن كل ما أمكن من التقصير وعدم التطويل فهو أولى وأحوط، ولا سيما في هذا العصر الذي كثرت فيه الفتن وكثرت فيه الشرور وقل فيه الصبر. Is a narration mentioned from Umar radiallahu anhu that he gave a 6-month hiatus or interval, a 6-month period for Ghazis, Ghuzat, يعني Mujahidun, warriors fighting in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, traveling to the borderlands, the frontiers, the edge of the Islamic empire, the borders, going out to fight. They were allowed 6 months to be away from their wives. And if he was away for 6 months, he says if it's something that's important, la bas, there's nothing wrong with that. However, he should try his best not to be away from his wife for more than 6 months. That's safest and that's best. Especially a time in which we live, in which there's so many different trials and tribulations. There's so many different temptations and infatuations, obsessions. There's so much evil. There's so much, ugly, nasty things. And the patience of the people in general is short, is relatively short. They don't have that much patience. فينبغي للمؤمن أن يعرف قدر وقته وأن لا يطيل الغربة عن زوجته. So therefore, once again, he reiterates the point. It is necessary for the believer to value time, to respect time, to realize how costly and how precious time truly is. He should not be away from his wife too long unnecessarily. بل يزورها بين وقت وآخر من سفره أو يحملها معه حيث أمكن حملها معه في السفر. He should visit her whenever he can, and if not, he should take her with him. She can accompany him on his journey or journeys, and they travel together if that's feasible, if that's possible. وإلا فليأتي بين وقت وآخر أقل من 6 أشهر في شهرين 3 4. And if he can't take her with her, every 2 months he should see her. Every 3 months he should visit her. Every 4 months, وهكذا, there should be a cycle, timetable. كل ما تيسر له جاء وزار أياما. Whenever he can, he should visit. He should drop in and out, so on and so forth. ثم رجع حتى ينتهي عمله. نسأل الله للجميع التوفيق. نعم. He says he should visit her as soon as he can, whenever he has a break or an opportunity, a vacation, etc. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide and to bless everyone. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. That's the end of the translation of this fatwa, which is given by Sheikh Aziz ibn Abdillah ibn Baz rahimahullah ta'ala. And there are many things to pay attention to. First and foremost, according to this fatwa, there is no specific time limit as long as the wife is okay with it. As long as the wife is okay, there's no time limit. So it could be a year, it could be 2 years. If he's in jail, if he's in prison, whatever the case may be, as long as she's patient and not complaining, then there is no specific fixed limit in which the marriage automatically becomes null, automatically becomes invalid. Number 2, even though there isn't a specific limit or cap, a husband shouldn't be neglectful. He shouldn't be nonchalant. He shouldn't just, drag his feet and not care. He should be there for his wife, with his wife. And, obviously this fatwa was, this question was asked many years ago, decades ago. So just imagine now, how easy it is to travel, how cheap it is, relatively cheap to travel. You find a deal. You find this type of, class tickets, this deal, no return, blah, 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 blah. Very easy for a person to travel with regards to the airplane. And of course, buses, cars. We have so many different apps, so many different ways of sending money. It's much easier. The dunya was much easier than it was back then with regards to traveling. So you're working, whatever you're doing, pop in, drop in on your wife. Even like he said, even if it's a few days, he said, hey, yeah, man. I only have a few days. I got to go back to work. I'm traveling on the road trying to make this money, blah, 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 blah. I got legal issues. I got out on bail, whatever the case may be. That makes a big difference with regards to seeing your wife, making her happy, dropping in, even if it's 3 days. You get to spend time with her, sit with her. You can eat with her, drink tea, coffee, etc. Then hug and a kiss, I gotta go. That's better than you being away for months and the person saying, I don't want to just drop in unless I can stay for a long time, so on and so forth. That one day, that may be her breaking day. She may be about to break and ask for a divorce. Or that one day you come, that may save her from the shaitan. I'm losing it. I'm lonely, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that. I can't be by myself anymore. She may fall into zina. You come and you save her from that. So the wisdom of the people of knowledge, even though it isn't a time limit with regards to making it being mandatory or invalid being invalid, be mindful of your time. Manage your time wisely. Very important for a husband to know the importance of time and to value time and to manage it properly. Managing the game clock. When to go out of bounds. When to stay in bounds. When to get the first down. When to score. The importance of managing the clock. Time is valuable. The game is won or lost within a matter of seconds. So that's advice to the wise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. There are many other things that we can speak on, as the Mufti clearly explained. The difference between a woman complaining and not complaining. And also he mentioned Hakam Shari'i. And a Hakam Shari'i yani Qadi, a judge, an Islamic judge. And one of the values and benefits of living in an Islamic land, not a Muslim country, an Islamic land, we said, an Islamic land, in which the courts aren't secular. Okay? And if unfortunately they have secular courts, they still have the Qadi, Shari'i. Alright? Versus you living in a land in which there is no Qadi, there is no Hakam Shari'i, and at best, you have an Imam at the masjid, at best. He may be qualified, he may not be qualified, but at best. So that's food for thought as well. A woman cannot just leave a marriage and jump out of a marriage when she wants to. And this fatwa also shows us, the question shows us that many people are ignorant and they don't know the rules. And they talk and they say things. Or maybe they're basing their speech off of another fatwa that they heard from another sheikh in another country. Allahu A'lam. And this is why the scholars of Islam, they say, madhabul ami, madhabu man yuftihi. They say that the madhab of the layman Muslim is the madhab of the mufti who gives him the fatwa. So you have to go to the person that you trust the most, that you respect the most, that you feel is most knowledgeable, who's available to you, and then you ask them and you act accordingly. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam.